he that is in me than he that is in the world. And with you, I'm more than a conqueror. Please don't let me fall like this. Let me show you how to sit up on your throne. Watch you be your baddie and keep my clothes on. You see, I'm summertime, fine body sitting right. No BBL, but my bubble 6 feet long, 6 feet wide. I'm trophy tall, I keep it tight. My porch is fully loaded, so I keep it easy peasy. Even when they try to grease me, part my scalp, yeah, I let it appease me. I'm wet like water, hurricane in motion, wreaking havoc on this half-built notion. With blessings and caution from the Most High Father, I'm just so glad to be His daughter. Dominating my opponent like a WNBA starter. I'm a baller, I'm on my injuries, so on my wings and water sketch. Curry the karma, it's time for Dharma. The principle of principals, fighting principalities. I don't condone austerity to the door to mess. My mind so dim light, I download degrees. My ancestors watching me, Master Chief. Can I be a witness of the people, Lord, who just don't know? Can I plead with your heart for one more chance before you go unloaded? Most High God, I know you can bring the rainbows and tornadoes. Just give me a little more time to tell them what I know. You got 48 hours to attend the jury. If you don't make it in, then the reapers will go seeking you out. Pull up on your block and bang your beat down. No Miranda rights when you go before the Most High's crown. You can run, but you can't confiscate. The bed made is gonna be where you lay. You got 2 days to make a play before you end up on first 48. Shit is sad to see you when you choose to stay down bad. It ain't on me, it's in me, but if you set to continue, have no envy of the miracles you see here before me. The Most High will play with me, the source of all my energy. You shoot your shot, but my tongue is up, Beretta spirit spitting on whoever. The cycle of conviction will be set to repetition. Recycling yourself to yourself will be quite sickening, cause you be getting what you giving. Plug into demise, I'm free, but please judge your mind. Mastering new levels, conquering new devils. One battle at a time, it's already mine. Playing my part so you can watch me shine in real time in your face and know it's not sublime. I'm eating mine, hungry hustle with a side of humble pie, sipping wine is prayer time. Only keeping up with what's keeping mine. Choosing the cross and chosen as you feeling your mission every time. Can I be a witness for the people, Lord, who just don't know? Can I plead with your heart for one more chance before you go unloaded? Most High God, I know you can bring the rainbows and tornadoes. Just give me a little more time to tell them what I know. A slug in my mouth when I speak fire. A real energy more than a desire. A healing in the whisper, you can't miss the entire presentation to get the people inspired. Aspiring for greatness requires living higher. Guards up already, warrior princess, seen the energy. My shoulders only leaning when my man is with me. Cause every queen need a king, kingdom building fruitful dreams. Urban Bridgerton, this fairy tales can happen. Nothing is impossible if you dare to dream. I go for plan A and back it up with plan B, especially with spirit as my SWAT team. You got 48 hours to attend the jury. Don't make it in, and the reapers will go seeking you out. Pull up on your block and bang your beat down. No Miranda rights when you go before the Most High's crown. Dear Lord, can I get them on the main line? The people supposed to be my friend. Pick up, I can't. They turned their back on me. Betrayed. They said no before the enemy shall prosper. When he said that, greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. And with you, I'm more than a conqueror. Please don't let me fall like this. Let me show you how to sit up on your throne. Watch you be your baddie and keep my clothes on. You see, I'm summertime, fine body sitting right. No BBL, but my bubble 6 feet long, 6 feet wide. I'm trophy tall, I keep it tight. My porch is fully loaded, so I keep it easy peasy. Even when they try to grease me, part my scalp, yeah, I let it appease me. I'm wet like water, hurricane in motion, wreaking havoc on this half-built notion. With blessings and caution from the Most High Father, I'm just so glad to be His daughter. Dominating my opponent like a WNBA starter. I'm a baller, I'm on my injuries, so on my wings and water sketch. Curry the karma, it's time for Dharma. The principle of principals, fighting principalities. I don't condone austerity to the door to mess. My mind so dim light, I download degrees. My ancestors watching me, Master Chief. Can I be a witness of the people, Lord, who just don't know? Can I plead with your heart for one more chance before you go unloaded? Most High God, I know you can bring the rainbows and tornadoes. Just give me a little more time to tell them what I know. You got 48 hours to attend the jury. If you don't make it in, then the rights when you go before the Most High's crown. You can run, but you can't confiscate. The bed and made is gonna be where you lay. You got 2 days to make a play before you end up on first 48. Shit is sad to see you when you choose to stay down bad. It ain't on me, it's in me, but if you set to continue, have no envy of the miracles you see here before me. The Most High will play with me, the source of all my energy. You shoot your shot, but my tongue is a beretta, spirit spitting on whoever. The cycle of conviction will be set to repetition. Recycling yourself to yourself will be quite sickening, cause you be getting what you giving. Plug into demise, I'm free, but please judge your mind. Mastering new levels, conquering new devils. One battle at a time, it's already mine. Playing my part so you can watch me shine in real time in your face and know it's not sublime. I'm eating mine, hungry hustle with a side of humble pie, sipping wine is prayer time. Only keeping up with what's keeping mine. Choosing the cross the chosen as you feeling your mission every time. Can I be a witness for the people, Lord, who just don't know? Can I be with your heart for one more chance before you go unloved? Most high God, I know you can bring the rainbows and tornadoes. Just give me a little more time to tell them what I know. A slug in my mouth when I speak fire. A real energy more than a desire. A healing in the whisper, you can't miss the entire presentation to get the people inspired. Aspiring for greatness requires living higher. Guards up already, warrior princess, seen the energy. My shoulders only leaning when my man is with me. Cause every queen need a king, kingdom building fruitful dreams. Urban Bridgerton, your fairy tales can happen. Nothing is impossible if you dare to dream. I go for plan A and back it up with plan B, especially with spirit as my SWAT team. You got 48 hours to attend the jury. Coming for you out. Pull up on your block and bang your beat down. No Miranda rights when you go before the Most High's crown.
What's up, y'all? How you doing? How you doing? I pray that everyone is safe. I know that we're going through some snow and some ice, and I know we got some people out in the Antioch area right now with no power. So we praying for y'all. Ooh, y'all. Lord, Lord, Lord. I hope y'all morning is well, it's just getting started for me, but I hope your morning is going well. Give me 1 second, guys. Get my life together. One moment. Bed. All right, let me mm, remove this. There we go. My eye is bothering me. All right, guys. Again, I hope you are well. Shout out to those and some of those in the Antioch area who have lost power in this cold. I pray that comes on quickly, swiftly, because we don't need nobody out here freezing, okay? Make sure it's doing what it needs to do. Let me close out some of these other things that I don't need right now. So I don't have so much lag on my stuff. Right? Okay. Okay. I think this is good. I'll be trying to give y'all a little time to come on here and participate. You feel me? Good morning, Princess Sanders. Good morning, Gordy. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? All right. So as y'all can see, today we're going to be in Proverbs 31. Proverbs 31. And I wanted to get into Proverbs today because like I was just in reflection and I was like, dang, I know that I'm imperfect, right? We all fall short of the glory of God. So I'm not saying the Lord is asking us to be perfect, but I am aware that I am imperfect, right? And so I'm thinking about what it is, like the things that I allow in comparison to the things that I deserve and like what my heart's real desires are. Because sometimes Excuse me. Told you my eye is bothering me. But sometimes we allow things in our life based off familiarity, based off what we're used to, but not really because it's honestly like what's best for us. Sometimes it's like going to the store and seeing a better food option or just a better food option. We're going to say better in this case, a better food option. But it's just not what we're used to. Or what's a better example? Okay, you only eat you only eat chicken tenders and fries. It's like because it's your safe zone, right? Like you know that at minimum you can go almost anywhere, and the or chicken tenders or and fries are basically going to be. I mean, you may have some difference, you may have some better than the other, but at base, you know, you're probably gonna have something that you can eat that's gonna be all right for you. Like, you know, it's not gonna be you're not gonna order something, spend your money on something and not like it. You know what I'm saying? You have a better chance. Oh Lord. Let me turn my light off, making sure we ain't losing no power. Hold on. Hold on, y'all. All right, y'all. I just used a little flashlight. I don't know. No, we gonna we gonna make this quick just in case the power try to act a little funny over here. Cause Lord, we ain't got time for that. You do not got time for that. So what I was saying is like, okay, you going and you say you go to like a 5-star restaurant, but you're used to only eating at like, you know, 3-star restaurants, right? We like us some Chili's, we like some Applebee's, we like some O'Charlie's, we like some Outback, right? We like maybe even fast food or Chipotle or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But let's say you're not used to eating at 5-star, you know, restaurants and things. And so when you finally get the opportunity to go to this 5-star dining experience, you have one or two choices, right? You can either open up yourself to really, you know, try something new on the menu. I mean, if there's ever a time to do it, probably now in the 5-star restaurant, right? But sometimes we get so used to what we're most comfortable with that we go to Old Charlie's and get chicken tenders and fries. We'll go to a steakhouse and get chicken tenders and fries. Or you go to a 5-star restaurant and still get chicken tenders and fries. And it's like at a certain point, do we feel like we don't deserve more than chicken tenders and fries? Like, are we that afraid of what's available for us that we think that, you know, so we don't even want to explore or expand? And I'm bringing this all together. And I say this because sometimes we just get so used to what we're used to that we're afraid to go out of the box and try something that is better for us, even if they're totally qualified to serve us and to do this thing. We may not feel internally qualified to receive what's available for us. So if I'm only used to 3-star and I go to a 5-star, maybe I can't enjoy the meal because I feel like I don't belong in the 5-star situation. You know what I'm saying? Let me get what I'm used to make me feel more comfortable with my 3-star life, right? Because 5-star, even though I'm in the facility, even though I'm at the table, even though I can eat anything off this menu, I'm only still picking what I'm used to or what I'm most comfortable with. Is it because I don't trust the chef? Is it especially if you take out price? If you're going into this 5-star restaurant and you know that you can get anything off the menu, just say it's complimentary. Let's say it's complimentary. Let's say you don't have to pay for anything. Are you still just gonna get the chicken tenders and the fries, or are you going to um expand your palate and mess around and get something that changed your life. You know what I'm saying? Um, and I'm speaking on this as far as like we're in Proverbs 31. And so I'm thinking, Lord, I know what I've been used to. I know what I've been comfortable with. I know what I've been most familiar with when it comes to relationships and what I've been receiving from a partner or a potential partner. But I also know who I am today, right? Like, and I know who I was then, and I'm I don't live in shame. You know what I'm saying? We, like I said, we all make mistakes. We all fall short of the glory of God, but the Lord told me that I don't have to live in yesterday. I don't have to live in who I was a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what growth and development is. If I'm walking with Christ and He's shaping me, cleansing me, and making me anew, I should also be able to revel in this newness and not be stuck in the familiarity of my past, right? When He's offering me something new. And I say this to say because I'm like scrolling, right? And there's this one person that's on TikTok, and I think that he is so like he's so attractive, right? And but outside of him just being like physically attractive, he's very attractive because his discipline and his dedication to his new life. You know what I'm saying? And he's made it very clear the changes and the resets he's done in his life now that he is living for God and what that looks like for him with his discipline and how he shows up, whether it be to the gym, whether it be to reading in the Word of God, whether it's just in sharing his testimony. Like he's just been so consistent and so dedicated, and that when I'm thinking about what kind of woman I am, not necessarily for this particular man, but when I think about the type of woman I am today and always have been, because I've always had a good quality about myself, but I haven't always made the right decisions based on how I felt about myself. Let's say at a time, like just for a little background, I started my first nonprofit where I would go to different churches and different groups where I would actually speak. I would read the Word of God. What I'm doing right now is what I've been doing since my junior year in high school. I had my first nonprofit called Access Denied at Smyrna High School. If you go to the yearbook for 2011, you'll see us in that because we started the junior year, but we made it that junior year, but we made it an official full group by my senior year, and we were in the yearbook by my senior year. So if you go get a Smyrna High uh, 2011 yearbook, you're gonna see the group, and you're gonna see me in there praying with people, praying over people, praying, going over this word, and 'cause that's my base. I've been this. This is my core. All right, this is my core. Now, when I go to college, not receive, I experienced a sexual assault, and it really kind of triggered just my self esteem. How I viewed myself, how I viewed others, how, uh, what my idea of control was. I think that's when I really got more like control issues because I felt I didn't know who I was after that moment. I felt like I in turn was different. I even made a song about it. If you go on my Facebook, you have to see. It's probably in like, when you could like when Facebook had notes, when everybody would either go in there and kind of like like a poem or a project or a story or something like that. I did a poem and I also did a song with one of our with my homeboys, Justin Yellow Pages. He's a great producer. You can follow him on Facebook. And I made a song, and I think I know I was like the chorus was like he smashed his death inside my life. I died. My spirit cried, I'll never be the same. I'll never be the same. I'll never be the same. And that was just my heart crying out because I felt my spirit did cry out. Like I was internally different. And I didn't even know at the time how different I would become. And not necessarily physically, but mentally. It was like an instant shift. And I keep telling y'all, the mind and the body are closest connected. Spirit is second. Like, you get what I'm saying? Your spirit is a whole separate entity within yourself, right? Your spirit, man. But the mind and body are connected through your nervous system, right? Like, your mind is telling, my left hand to go up, my left hand to go down. So as a man thinketh, so is he. So when it interrupted my thought process on what is ownership of body, what is value, what is control. I had a misconception of control after that time, because I felt like if I'm in control, if I say yes and I'm being the dominant person in this situation, then he can't take anything from me, right? Because someone took it from me. So if you can't take it from me, then I can never be uh a victim again, right? I can never be weak in my mind again. I will never lose this fight again, right? But which ends up putting you in a worse headspace, because you end up making worse decisions, because you have a false sense of control. You have a false sense of security. You have a false sense of esteem. And then we'll say it's well, there was a whole movement on like slut shaming. Excuse my language, but it was like, I'm a slut, I'm this, I'm that, I'm owning my body, and we get it. Like, I'm not saying you can't love yourself, but if we're being totally and completely honest, when we were out here, or when we are out here doing the most, especially with our bodies and how we showcase ourselves, we have a lot of excuse. We have a lot of saying like, "Oh, it's expression. Oh, it's womanism. Oh, it's loving myself. It's receiving myself." And I get where you are. It's especially in that process of devalued. When you've been devalued and you're trying to get your value back, or you're understanding what that means for you, you're going to go through a lot of spaces of what that may look like, especially in the world that gives you so much misinformation, right? And so you have to start. It's a process. So as you're coming from the autonomy of this is what I can do for control, and then you do something for so long, you realize you're in a bad situation. Now you look up, you with a man you ain't supposed to be with, you in a situation you're not supposed to be in, you're in a location you was never supposed to be at, right? And I found myself in Florida in a hotel after a 13-hour bus ride to go meet with a man who was just playing on my mind. Like, he was here, but I went there because he left, and I went there thinking that I'm getting my mind back, because he was playing so much, like so many mental games, and I don't like, the back and forth and not understanding. We did a face to face, is we ain't type of situation. And but I ended up in Florida alone, and even when he was there, he wasn't really there, and I really had to, while I was in this messed up situation, I'm looking around, and I just had no choice but to look in the mirror and ask myself, like, Jakaria, Mickie, how did we get here? Like, how did we end up right here, right now, in this situation, crying and just being so unsatisfied with our life? We knew we had a good base of who we were, right? And consistent about it and bold in it. And because of a situation, because of a sexual assault, because of abuse, now you have reset your entire brain, and now you're doing things that you would have never done. You're in spaces you would have never been, and you're dealing with um, situations and things that you would have never dealt with. Like, there was a time a dude you could not play in my face. It was I was very bold as a child. Like, if you put your hand in my purse, I'm smacking you. You put your hand on my butt, I'm smacking you. Like, it I was very, very bold. I've always been a bold woman. Even at a young age, I was very mind strong and very heart set on God. And I was um, covered. Like, and then also I didn't really have an opportunity but to be good, because my mama wasn't going. Like, my mom, my mama was not happy. She was playing no games. I'm just gonna say that she was playing absolutely no games. So there was a baseline of just righteousness in the way that I was living. One, because I couldn't live another way. My mom was not playing with me. Two, because I really didn't have a desire. I was really brought up in the way I was supposed to, and that was never really a big thing for me. But when the sexual assault happened in college, my freshman year, I ended up dropping out of school, because I felt like I was failing all the way around. Like, school wasn't what I thought it was going to be. I had a poor sense of time management. I did not have. I'm just being on this channel. I'm being honest. So anybody who watches this channel and you feel like I'm speaking on you, um, you know, I'm just telling my story. I'm telling my truth because I'm allowed to do that. So if anyone gets offended in me telling my truth, then I just pray that you pray about the spirit of offense because that's not of God. So you should work on that, Buki. I'm being honest, and because I when I pass away, I shouldn't have anything on my chest that I feel like I couldn't process because I was afraid of what you know others would say or how they would judge me or what they would think about me, because to be honest, y'all judge a lot, y'all think a lot, and y'all do a lot with no proof at that. Y'all can get a sniff of a lie from someone who has no idea what's going on, and y'all would let that just roll and make a whole thing about it. So uh I definitely, I don't care about the appeasement of people anymore, thank God for that, because people pleasing almost killed me. But going back to what I was saying, when I was in that space in this hotel room and I'm looking in the mirror, I'm like, bro, how did I get here to a place where I felt so lowly, like where I felt so just mistreated, like abandoned. Just I just felt low. I felt low. And that's really what it is. I just felt like, especially when you know where you come from, right? That's why it's good to have a baseline of Christ and to be raised up with the glory of God and the understanding of who God is, because when you get lost, because we're bound to get lost at one point in our lives. You know, we live in the world, but not of it. And so there's a lot of doors and windows and roads that you can end up down, and a lot of reasons you may end up down there. Um, you know what I'm saying? The biggest thing is, can you make it back home? A lot of people go out into the world and never make it back home. A lot of people go out into the world and do some things and get so caught up in shame that they never are able to get back to Christ, right? So thank God for the get back, you feel me? But it's still a journey when you think about who you've had to be at a certain time. Like, just because you've grown and you've changed, it doesn't mean you forget. It doesn't mean you forget what you've gone through, right? And then that's when grace comes in, and I'm so blessed, and we're so blessed that the Lord is gracious, even more gracious than we are to ourselves, because like I said the other day, I'm very hard on myself. So it was very difficult for me to come out of this rot when I was in there. One, I felt ashamed that I lost that fight. Two, I felt ashamed of who I became in that fight, when I basically kind of checked out. And then when I lived a life of basically being checked out, like, I mean, for like 5 years, I was not here, bro. I'm just being so honest. For like 5 plus years, I was walking, talking, breathing. You may have had a conversation with me. You may have seen me. You may have had other things going on. It was not me. I was not there. I was not present. I was not Jakaria, Michael, Wade was not in it. The the safety net version of me, the messed up spirit of me, that was me. The self protecting me, that was me. The checked out version of me, that was me. I got to a point where I looked in the mirror, like even after that date, I looked in the mirror, not no, on that day specifically though, I looked in the mirror and I said, I recommitted myself to Christ. Basically, I recommitted myself to Christ, and I knew it was going to be a long journey back to even feeling close to what was comfortable with me in Christ. But when I rededicated my life, like, my promise was never that I wouldn't make another mistake. That wasn't it. My promise was that I would never lose myself in another man or situation again. That once it ultimately came down to it, I would always commit to Christ, and I didn't care how I looked in the process. So coming out of Egypt, that Egypt mindset, coming out of captivity, coming out of trauma, coming out of that pain, it's a journey, man, of worthiness and self esteem and what you deserve. And going back to what I was saying, you get so used to dealing with a certain type of situation. Like, you keep dealing with chicken tenders and fries, at a certain point to stay safe. But the Lord is calling you to eat steak. He's preparing a table before you in the presence of your enemies. And I promise you, it's not chicken tenders and fries. He has something extravagant, something amazing, and something he knows that you're gonna like. And same with your partner, right? Same with what God has promised you and your marriages and things like that. So I'm going to Proverbs 31 because I'm like, Lord, I knew who you called me to be when I was young, and I knew who the the things and the tests and the things that the devil put on me for me to battle. and I had to come out of it. Thank God you with me, but it was a journey. But now I'm here, and now that I'm here today, January 25th, 2026, fully emboldened, uh, forgiving myself, done some deep diving, not just from that moment, but from things that are going on with my parents, things, just things that you just have to deal with in general about the makings of you, right? And when you're giving them over to God so he can make you over, it is a process, and there ain't no time limit on it. But here I am today, and I see this, for example, like this guy on TikTok, and it's like, bro, I don't even want to look at his page too long, because I don't even want to look at him with a. I honor his growth and his dedication so much that I don't even want to look at him with an eye of lustfulness. So it's like, soon as I see him, soon as I start getting, I gotta like change the channel. I gotta swipe. Like, I'm like, I can't look at him too long, because I want to honor him and his growth, even if he knows that I exist or not. Like, what I'm saying? This is how I'm even gazing upon him needs to be of God, right? Because he's living of God. And so to honor what he's on, in turn are still in return still honoring yourself of what God called you to be and what he called you to do, right? And so then we getting into Proverbs 31, and I'm like, Lord, um, res- hold on. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going into this now, and I know who I am. I know who I've been. I know what I've came out of, even in the midst of the storm, who I was. But because even in that place, I was still, even in that journey coming back from that Florida, it was not easy. I still made mistakes. I was still dealing with spiritual warfare and principalities, and the changing of your mind, the resetting of your mind, the washing of your mind. And even though the Lord can do it in a moment's eye, the forgiveness of ourselves, when we know who we have been, is the longest process. The Lord can do it in a day. It's us that takes the 21. You get what I'm trying to say? Um, and that's a big deal. So when I'm reading into Proverbs 31, and I'm checking on what a Proverbs 31 woman is, not just because of who I would like to be, but who am I actively being and becoming, even through the process of failures and rejection and removals and disappointments and realignments, and the Lord constantly shifting me and molding me and making me over, right? Just really being clay, because the main decision was always, I will never lose myself in a man again. So meaning, I don't care how much I love you, I don't care how much I like you. At a certain point, when it comes down to it, I won't commit myself to anything that I really feel like is not of God. And I don't care if it hurts me to leave. I don't care if it breaks my heart to leave. I will still leave. I will walk away if that's what I'm called to do, because I chose God first. Because on that day, and my most lost day, when I saw how low I could get, I was never going to go back to that lowliness. So even if my money is funny, even if things are up and down in this necessarily world space, I still call on God, and I still give him all the praise, because there's no one else. I've already made a commitment. It's like I've made a covenant, and I'm sticking to that covenant. No one can break me from it. In the midst of my storms, in the midst of the snow, in the midst of financial difficulties, in the midst of um, pains, sufferings, the removal process. Because when you're doing surgery on your heart, man, it's uncomfortable. Like, they give you anesthesia when you go into surgery, because could you imagine being cut open when you have to feel everything, and like in the spirit, that's basically what he's doing. He gives you a comforting, but you're being cut open, you're being shaped. It's not gonna Walking with Christ is not comfortable. Walking with Christ is uncomfortable. That narrow path, we may be bigger than the path. You know what I'm saying? We gotta fast. We gotta make up. We gotta fit. We gotta be in alignment, even when we have no idea where it ends up. We just have to trust that it ends up at a table prepared before us. All right. So I said that to say, like, again, I'm looking at the into Proverbs 31 and who I am, and I align with Proverbs 31. I do align with a Proverbs 31. Am I perfect? No, but am I worth it? Yes. And after today, tomorrow we're gonna go into the other Mary. We talked about Mary the mother. Now we're gonna talk about Mary Magdalene, out of the Holy Scriptures and out the Ethiopian text. There's a lot of stories about how much Mary really was utilized by Christ. excuse me, how she walked with him like the disciples did, and how he taught her a lot more, and how other disciples revered her as a teacher because her level of understanding was even more in depth than theirs. Um, so let me get into Proverbs 31, and we'll go from there. I know it's kind of dark in here, y'all, but I thought my light started shaking and stuff, so I just wanted to make sure it wasn't going to go out. All right. Proverbs 31. The words of King Lemuel, the prophecy that his mother taught him. What, my son? And what the son of my womb? And what the son of my vows? Give not thy strength unto woman, nor thy ways to that which destroyeth kings. It is not for kings, O Lemuel. It is not for kings to drink wine, nor for princes strong drink, lest they drink and forget the law and pervert the judgment of any of the afflicted. Give strong drink unto him that is ready to perish, and wine unto those that be of heavy hearts. Let him drink and forget his poverty, and remember his misery no more. Open thy mouth for the dumb, and the cause of all such are as appointed to destruction. Open thy mouth, judge righteously, and plead the cause of the poor and the needy. So before he gets into who can find a virtuous woman, which is verse 10, he's speaking on what a king, what the aspects of a king are, right? What does it mean to be a king and even a prince? There's some things you have to be set aside. It's basically there's some ways and some things that you cannot participate in when you're called into leadership, right? When you're called into wholeness, when you're called to speak for those or pray for those who are still weary or burdened or uh, in death or in need or in poverty, all these things like that. But it's hard to. But if your mind is not clear, if you're not disciplined in your actions and how you move, then as a man, you're not really able to be in all your kingship. One, because you don't have a clear mind, you don't have a sound mind, you don't have a heart of Christ, and because of that, you can't make the best decisions and really lead the way you've been called to, if your mind is unclear. Hold on one second, y'all. All right, y'all. And so as a man, that is some of the baselines of what it is to be a king and to be in leadership. And then I give yourself to women. Basically, like every woman is not a good woman, if we're being real. Every woman is not a good woman. Every man is not a good man. As a as a king, as a prince, you're supposed to not just give yourself over to women. So like basically, and I've said this a lot too, men can't walk around like hoochies. I'm just sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Like I know y'all get a lot of passes. Dudes get a lot of passes for just being like perverse. Dudes get a lot of passes for having a lot of partners. No one's when a dude has a lot of partners compared to a woman if she has a lot of partners, that's you're not gonna get the same resolve. And they say like that's just a part of it. That's just men being men, but it's not. A strong man and a strong man, a strong-minded man, and the Lord knows his value as well. You are valuable, so you shouldn't be giving your body to just anybody either. Like any woman shouldn't just be able to come in, lay with you, sleep with you, build families with you, and all that stuff like that because you are powerful. And it can also pervert your mind. Like you can be with the wrong woman and it can take you totally away from God. Actually, the Bible speaks a lot about men laying with women of different nations in the sense of because you end up taking on their gods. You know what I'm saying? So like, and then what about your kids? Like you are the You're the father. You get what I'm trying to say? So like, if you out here per you know, m- making more kids with just anybody and anything, especially with a woman who is not of Christ, who whatever mindset, whatever God she's serving, that's whatever God your kids are going to be serving. You get what I'm trying to say? So like, it's going to be very difficult to get your child out of those situations if you and the mother are not on accordance or at least connected with the same belief set, right? It's gonna be very difficult. So men do better by guarding their loins too when it comes to some of these women, because that be your biggest detriment. Like you think about how many people get backdoored by women. You know how many stories where a woman has come in the guise of wanting to be more, do more, really care, and she totally like jack up your money, your family, your friendships, or just really put you through it because you were searching with your eyes and not your heart, right? So let's get into 10. It's so Proverbs 31 verse 10. Who can find a virtuous woman, for her price is far above rubies? The heart of her husband doeth safely trust in her, so that he shall have no need of spoil. Meaning, if you with a woman you can't trust, you're gonna spoil. It's like being milk outside. Like it's no good for you. It doesn't bring you any joy. It doesn't bring you any favor, and it can basically spoil what God has for you. So like you're gonna go bad before you end up getting to where you need to go, all because you with the wrong woman. So a virtuous woman is gonna be able to have the trust of her husband, and he's gonna be able to honor that and feel safe in her space, right, and where they're growing. Let's see. So yeah, verse 11. The heart of her husband doeth safely trust in her, so that he shall have no need of spoil. She will do him good and not evil all the days of her life. She seeketh wool and flax, and worketh willingly with her hands. She is like the merchant's ships. She bringeth her food from afar. She raises also while it is yet night, and giveth meat to her household and a portion to her maidens. She considereth a field and buys it. With the fruit of her hands she planted the vineyard. She girdeth her loins with strength, and strengthened her arms. She perceiveth that her merchandise is good. Her candles goeth not out by night. She layeth her hands to the spindle, and her hands hold her hands hold the distaff. She stretches out her hand to the poor. Yes, she reaches for her hands to the needy. She is not afraid of the snow for her household, for all her household are clothed with scarlet. She maketh herself coverings of tapestry. Her clothing is silk and purple. Her husband is known in the gates when he sitteth among the elders of the land. She maketh fine linen and selleth it, and delivereth girdles unto the merchant. Strength and honor are her clothing, and she shall rejoice in time to come. She opened her mouth with wisdom, and in her tongue is a law of kindness. She looketh well to the ways of her household, and eateth not of the bread of idleness. Her children arise up and call her blessed. Her husband also her husband also, and he praises her. Many daughters have done virtuously, but though excellent, well, no, but thou excels them all. Favor is deceitful, and beauty is vain, but a woman that feareth the Lord, she shall be praised. Give her of the fruit of her hands, and let her own works praise her in the gates. So to be a Proverbs 30:31 woman, she okay. What does she do? Not only does she have the trust of her husband, so she's an honorable woman. She's not out here cheating. She's not out here putting him in bad situations. She's not out here speaking death or detriment or negative things on his name. She's not going around embarrassing her man, basically. Okay, and then also heart of us trusting her, then do him good, seeketh wool and flax. So basically, also she go get what she need. Like she's a hustler. I made clothing. I have my own clothing line called Worthy 44. CC count. Wait, what say? She like the merchant ship. She bringeth food from afar. She know how to for storm. She gonna make sure that whatever's on the grocery list, whether she goes with her husband or by herself, that whatever is needed for the household, she's gonna do her what is it called? Like your quality check. You know what I'm saying? Make sure we got what we need what we need. You know what I'm saying? So that everybody's good. Not just she's good, not just her man is good, but their children are well as well. She considered a field and buy it. I bought me land last year. I bought me land last year. I'm in the process of paying it off, but I may not have a lot, which y'all see. But I bought land last year, so I can grow and prosper and be able to make myself available to others, and have food for my family. You know what I'm saying? And on the land is already, even before we go and growing on the thing, or like have our own garden on the land. What's already on the land, we can harvest off of what's already on the land naturally as well. So I'll be doing that this summer, spring. Y'all be seeing me more on my land this year. What else does she do? She girded her loins and strength and strengthens her arms. So like you working out, you know what I'm saying? Maybe do some push-ups. Carrying on, do what you need to do for your household. Um, and protecting ourselves from the liars and the cheats and the snakes, the ones that maybe used to get in the garden, but now that we're in the garden, we're cutting the grass to make sure there's no snakes in the grass. We're resetting our space. You know what I'm saying? To honor the husband that's already there, meaning the Lord, and to honor the physical husband that's to come. Right. So like I can't fool with you because I'm waiting on my husband. Basically, you know what I'm trying to say? Okay. She layeth her hand in spindle, and her hands hold the distaff. I think you are a creator, and you create things. You do a work of art, whether that be in food, whether that be in your clothing, whether that be in your works. You know what I'm saying? For me, I have a TV network. Right, I do a lot of marketing. I help with websites. I make flyers. I can host your podcast. You see it right here. Like you're on it. If you're watching on the Roku channel, we're in like what 10 countries now. Let me see where we at. Let me pull it up and let me look at the analytics for today. So as of today, boy, leave me alone. As of today, we are on 129 devices. We are a little under 60 days gone. We are currently viewed in the United States, Mexico, Brazil, Chile, Venezuela, Philippines, Canada, United Kingdom, Dominican Republic, and Colombia. But we have also been also in Costa Rica, India, and Argentina, and Japan was on here as well. So these are places we either been showcased or currently being showcased right now. All right, all right, all right. So, boom, you're watching right now. Just Mickie Live. Okay, and then let's see, what else does a Proverbs woman do? She stretches out her hand to the poor. She reaches forth her hand to the needy. I do that all the time, and I don't have to put it on camera, and I don't always make a post about what I've given, how I give. Anybody who knows me is knows that I'm a blessing to a lot of people. And where I live, there's a lot of opportunities to be a blessing. So I've given away multiple strollers to when I've seen women with kids who are out, about to fall over because my kids are growing up. So if I have it to give, I give. I'll give out water. I've given out food. If I have it to give, I give. Like it's never a big deal. And I'm not always posting all the things that I do because it's not for that. I don't do it for show. I do it for my heart. If I can do it, I will. If I can't, I just can't. What else? Mm-mm-mm. She is not afraid of the snow for her household. For it says semicolon. It says for her household colon. Then it says for all her household. So not just for the household, but for all my household. That means at the time when I have maidens or additional people to come in and help me keep everything moving, they gonna have what they need. The people that are working with me, to manage everything. My maidens are gonna have what they need. My husband's gonna have everything he needs. My children are gonna have everything they need. I'm gonna have everything we need, because the Lord is providing for us. But I'm also doing well with the provisions that He has provided, right? So we don't have to worry. She maketh herself coverings of tapestry. Her clothing is silk and purple. And I know when we were talking about Mary, if you were listening, and the story of Mary was talking about when she was given like her color, she was given scarlet and purple. And so I'm gonna do more research on what that is because I think it's so funny how when we think about when we think about scarlet red, especially in the verse we just read the other day on the cleansing of making anew, we can be of crimson and turn away from your ways. You can be of crimson, and he can make you white as snow. So with scarlet and red, it's normally like color of like a harlot, like it's normally the color of like the movie the the Scarlet Letter, or like the remake version like Easy A. Scarlet is red is normally connected to like whoredom. You get what I'm trying to say? Which is so crazy when it's actually the main colors of women of God, the scarlet and the purple. And I know that purple is a lot of the time is connected to royalty. So I think it's that balance of both, right? So I'm going to do more research, and because I see scarlet and purple come up a lot so far. Just what we've been reading the other day through with Mary, with what the color of sin is looked at to be is like blood. You know what I'm saying? So I think I think it's very interesting that they use that a lot, the purple and the scarlet, when it comes to the women of God. Her husband is known in the gates, and he sitteth among the elders of the land. So we should be looking for a husband who has honor. You should want a husband that sits high and looks low, in the sense of not in judgment, but of protection. I want a man that's better than me, and I think that as a woman, we should seek men who are better than us in the sense of, where he is weak, I am strong. Where I am weak, he is strong. That balance of the things that, you know, like for example, when I see that person, I'm like, man, he's so disciplined to the point where you don't even want to, even if he doesn't even know, like, I don't even want to look at him with a sinful eye. Like, you get what I'm trying to say, because of how disciplined he is. And I want to honor that so much. And that is something that I feel like that's something that we should desire in our husbands. And I feel like potential and future husbands, or even current husbands, should also desire to showcase your leadership, not in your dominion, not in your control, not in your you know not in your power of like pain, or like wanting to hurt somebody. None of that is about that. Not in your patriarchy. You get what I'm trying to say? Not in your was it misogynistic mindset. That's not what he's asking for. But when you're looking for a man of Christ, you want someone who can you can look up to. As a woman, you want a man that you can adore. You want a man that you can revere. You want a man that, when he talks, you want to listen. Like, you get what I'm trying to say? Like, dudes be trying to be in control but have no power because they show no dedication in their own life. It's like, you're not disciplined on any level, not even disciplined with your own body. How can you tell me about me and mine? You know what I'm saying? If you want to be a great man and you're saying that you're all these things, but you don't keep to any of the things you say you're gonna do. A man is really only as good as his word. So if you say you're gonna do a thing and you're constantly not doing a thing, there's there's a disconnect. You know what I'm saying? On how much a woman is going to respect you, because we don't trust you. And how can you can't really trust us if we can't trust you, because we're not going to give you our full submission if you cannot lead, if you cannot show that in the midst of storms that you can be steady, that in the midst of whatever's going on that you can be the soundness of it. You get what I'm trying to say? We're supposed to be the doers and the workers of things. So we bring things together, we make things really pretty, we make sure that we're, whatever you're bringing in for us to utilize, or helping us get to, or protecting us on our journey there. You know what I'm saying? We have a lot to do as women of God. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're just called to do. That's why we can multitask so well. That's why we handle things so well. And it's not that we can't do our job properly, but if you want us to do our job properly, then your job is to, one, honor God, hold a safe space for us to be safe, keep the soundness of the household and the mind, so when we're getting pulled to and fro, that we can come back to you and get the reflection of God in you, get that balance and that stability through our husbands. And then you're also going to love us. You're also going to look out for us. You're also going to protect us. So on the things that we shouldn't have to worry about are the things that you holding down, like how we're being treated, what we're dealing with on a daily basis. If you can't stand firm in whatever the baseline of this household is, or the rules of this household is, we can't grow. So as a man, you are setting the standard of treatment, right? Like if you were supposed to be honoring God and honoring your husband, there should never be a time a woman never feels safe in her own household with her husband. Ever. Ever. There should never be a time a woman should not be able to find rest in her husband, ever. The same way a husband finds the pleasure of a wife in the knowing that as he's doing what he needs to do, he can trust his wife to honor him in her ways as well. It's a duality of both. You're both subservient to each other because when one is weak, the other is strong. So where maybe this is my high point, you're grounding me in my high points. You're making sure that I'm covered when I'm doing what God has called me to do, and I'm making sure that I'm not taking away what God has called you to do. I'm not taking away your power, and you're not taking away my strength. We're one together. Da, 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 da. Her husband is known in the gates, and he sitteth among the elders of the land. She maketh fine linen and selleth it, and deliver girdles to the merchant. Strength and honor are her clothing, and she shall rejoice in the time to come. She opened her mouth with wisdom, and in her tongue is the law of kindness. She looketh well to the ways of her household, and eateth not of the bread of idleness. Her children rise up and call her blessed. So you are honored by your children. Your children love you because you show up for them, and you train them to be solid individuals. You know what I'm saying? You're not just letting your kids do whatever. There's a baseline of honor and strength, meaning there's rules and regulations around this thing that we just have to hold tight to so that you can make it to the kingdom. Many daughters have done virtuously, but thou excellest them all. So there's a lot of good women out there. There's a lot of pretty women. There's a lot of pretty women. There's a lot of women that, maybe a good time for you. They may be extremely beautiful, but you can't be caught up on just the vanity of a woman. You really got to be caught, especially as a man, when you're choosing a woman. You have to check her character. You have to be align with her heart. Like if she cannot honor you, it doesn't matter how good she looks, you're just going to spoil fast. Like we go to the store and we think something looks really good, and then it's already like rotten the same day. Like I went to the store and got some bananas the other day, and by the next day they were all black. Like I just got them yesterday. So it looked good, but it went bad. It spoiled fast. You know what I'm saying? It spoiled really fast. So it was not in the right setup for me, I guess. Or what looked good wasn't all that good. Favor is deceitful and beauty is vain. So don't just get with a woman because she come from a rich family. Like if you're a man and you're, looking for her, don't be looking for a woman for a come up. That's wrong too. Like don't be dating a woman just because her daddy got money or she got money and you feel like she's gonna be able to support you while you work on your rap dreams. Like, I'm just being honest. Don't do that. Don't just get with a woman because she has the biggest butt or she got the 30-inch bust down. That cannot, not saying that you can't have a big butt or a 30-inch bust down, but that cannot be the reason you're choosing your wife. If you are, then don't be surprised if your marriage is failing or y'all arguing every day or you out here talking about, man, she don't cook, she don't da, da, da. I mean, you knew what you got when you picked it. Choose wisely. Favor is deceitful and beauty is vain, but a woman that feareth the Lord, she shall be praised. Give her the fruit of her hands, and let her own works praise her in the gates. So, like, you're gonna see, judge a tree by the fruit it bears, right? When it comes to me, people can tell you a lot of things about me. I feel like I've lived several lives, yo. Some I'm proud of, some I'm not, but it is what it is. I can't go back in time and change things. If I could, I mean, of course, I would like to say yeah, but if we're being totally honest, like it is what it is. Everything that I've gone through, everything that I've experienced has been a working and a making to me who I am today. If would I've liked to do some things differently? Of course, there's some lessons I would have liked to skip. Absolutely, but ultimately, the Lord knew me and He knew what I needed ultimately to come out. And then sometimes sometimes you're going through stuff that the Lord never had planned for you, but the devil seeks to kill, steal, and destroy. So you are, people, the weapons are coming up against you, and saying they won't prosper me. I guess it doesn't mean they won't never touch you, because it happened, but it didn't kill me. It didn't shape me. It didn't make me to that person. I had a choice: either still stick with the kingdom, come back home, or be stuck where I was at, and it didn't matter because I was gonna meet death. Death was gonna meet me where I was at, and I didn't. On my last days, I don't want to die not knowing whose I am, whose hands I'm in, And so I had to understand that I had to let some of the old me die. You know what I'm saying? And a new me has to rise daily. Like every day, I'm praying to be cleansed for things known and unknown, sins known and unknown, because I fall short. But every day, I give myself to God. Every day, I'm striving to be better. You know what I'm saying? I'm striving to just be not just better, but in alignment, just to where I need to be. And sometimes that's even hard to do because sometimes I overstress myself. I don't give myself the opportunity to rest because I'm always like on the next thing, on the next thing. What I need to do better myself, to better myself, to be in position that I don't even. Sometimes I don't even like tell myself good job about some of the things that I have accomplished. Sometimes I don't even sit with that. And so I do need to be able to eat the fruit of that I put in. So I do need to be able to revel in the blessings of God that I have right now too, as I still work for it and as I still till this soul of my life. I need to be able to see and be fed by what I'm giving into, and that is including my potential husband. So like going and keep eating chicken tenders and fries is not gonna do it because at a certain time I've been called to go eat steak, and if I keep feeling like I'm not qualified for steak, or I'm not supposed to be in this 5-star restaurant, or you know I don't fit, I'm not worthy, then I'm always gonna keep choosing wrong. I'm always gonna keep going back to uh what doesn't fit. You're going to always find a way to make something old new again. You know how many times we cycle back to old people that we done mess. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody that hurt us and we let go, and then we think it's going to be a little better this time, so we try to do it again. It's because ultimately we're truly afraid of getting what we deserve, or sometimes we feel like that we may not actually be worth it. So I can go down Proverbs 31 and I can see myself in Proverbs 31, but when I see a man of Proverbs 31, I feel like I'm not even qualified. Why is that? Is that because I'm not qualified, or is that because I'm truly afraid to receive what the Lord really has for me? So we want to have to believe that it's possible. We want to have to believe that whatever God promised us is for us. And if we're not willing to receive it, then we're always going to keep choosing chicken tenders and fries. Even at a 5-star restaurant where they're telling you the meal is complimentary, they're telling you it's for you. They can roll out the whole red carpet for you to come eat. But if you feel like if you still mentally have not accepted that the Lord does love you and that favor is yours and that the blessings that He promised you are yours, you will forever push them away. Even if they're trying to come to your table, you'll send it somewhere else and say it's not yours because you don't feel worthy. Not because the world told you was not worthy, not because the Lord told you couldn't have, but because we keep feeling like we don't deserve what God has for us because the shame of who we used to be sometimes is so much more prominent than who we are today. So I want to pray. Most High, I come to you today, allowing us to see ourselves as we really are, the good and the bad. Lord, I thank you in advance for everything that is coming to us, our heart's desires. I thank you for putting us in a position to receive, not only physically, but mentally and emotionally. Lord, allow us to open our hearts to all the things that you want to give us and not be limited by familiar spirits that we're used to. Allow us to get out of that spirit of contentment and get into where the spirit of obedience, Lord, because it may be scary to go where you've called us to go, and it may be scary to open our arms to really receive what you have for us. But Lord, I don't want to miss out. I don't want to miss my door because the world told me that I wasn't good enough, or my past self told me I wasn't good enough, or the shame that I've carried that you've already healed me from and washed away has told me that I don't deserve what's next, Lord. But allow me to walk into the table that you have set before me in the presence of my enemies. Allow me to walk in boldly and in full expectation of what you have for me, not in fear, not in delay, but allow me to know that I am more valuable than rubies just by honoring you and loving you, and that greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. So I don't have to be stuck with who I used to be, and I don't keep having to be stuck with what I used to do. I don't have to keep recycling the same plate, Lord. Allow me a new plate with a new thing. In Yeshua's name I pray, amen. Lord, I pray, like God, I pray that you allow yourself to meet God, and for him to meet you where you're at, and then that we receive not just the rod of God, right? Not just the conviction of things that we know that we've done wrong, but we also receive the grace and the favor and the promise that He has for us, because His promise is for a hope and a future, right? We're not just in here to solely suffer. The Lord loves you. He sees you. He loves me. He sees me. And whatever He promised you is yours. Don't push away your blessings because you think you're not qualified for them. He qualifies the unqualified, okay? You don't need the world to tell you you're good enough. The Lord told you you was His. So just follow the path, do what you need to do so that you don't miss your dinner party, right? And when you get there, don't expect chicken nuggets and fries. Expect something different. Expect something miraculous and immaculate, and expect it to hit every taste bud that you didn't even know that you had. Expect something new. All right. As we get a new mind, a new life, we're going to get a new experience as well of what we've been dealing with. So don't be afraid to receive that. Don't be afraid to take off that old shell of who you used to be and truly walk into what God has called you to be. All right. It's been real, y'all, and it's been a blessing. Catch me on Kodai CTV on your local Roku channels. You can also watch on, let me give you my little show. You can watch us right here on themaitrd.com. That is themaitrd.com. You can watch the Kodai CTV live scheduled programs there. You can also watch a lot of Cashville, Nashville artists, a lot of different just cultural black films, movies, from history to the future to different things that we're coming up with. If you have content that you would like to share on this channel, we have opportunities for you to do that too. We host podcasts. If you want to come on and speak on some things and showcase your business, let me know. We have some packages for that as well. Guys, I try to make sure that everything is extremely affordable. So there's absolutely no reason that if you have content that you want to share or media that you want to, collaborate with, that it's not possible. I'm not trying to take your whole check. You feel me? Like, I am trying to work with my community, so I do ask that you utilize what I have available while it's still available to you. All right. Peace, love, chicken grease, guys.